he knows. Keep talking to God because he knows. These children of God in the text, or should I say this child of God in the text, he knew that God may not come when he wants. But Job had experience. You know, we're not in chapter 1 now, we're in chapter 3. We're in chapter 23, so he had been through some things. He knew that if he may not come when I want him, but my God is always on time. How many been through something that it seemed like he wasn't going to show up? But our God showed up. So it is my prayer today that every person that's sitting here in the sanctuary, in God's house, in our place of worship, the place where we come to lay down our burden, the place where we come still away in Jesus, the place where we sit next to some of the most wonderful, some of the most beautiful people in the world, the place where we come to fellowship with one another and share with one another about the goodness of the Lord. Let me tell you something that's good to be able to share with somebody. Be able to be in a church that you can share with one another about the goodness of the Lord. It's good to share with somebody saying, I've been through all of this week. And then somebody will tell you, it's going to be all right. Be able to be in a church with somebody, some men that believe in praise, some women that believe in clarity, some preachers that believe in preaching the word, and a choir that believe in singing Zion's song. It's good to be in a church where you can lay your burden on one another and tell somebody, we've been there and do it for a night, but God comes in the morning. It's good to be in a church where you can say, girl, I've been through all that last week. Let me just tell you. If you got time for me to just tell you about it. Well, you tell them part of it before church. And you tell them the rest after church. And if you don't get finished telling them after church, call me up or text me. I'm going to tell you about the rest of it. And all you're doing is you got a support team there. That somebody can help bear your burden. Because somebody's been through something that you're going through. Or somebody coming out of something that you are in. But you can rest assured that at the church house, you can get some relief. If you really want some relief, you can get it at the church house. So I'm glad I'm a part of a church that will listen to what I got to say. Ain't that right? It's good to come into fellowship. So we are here with some of the most wonderful people in the world. But I invite you today, I solicit you today sitting here. I beg you to open up your hearts. Open up your minds. Your spirit to be more compassionate, more considerate, more patient, more loving and more understanding, more caring about others when they're going through things. We are not, amen, we ought to be a close-knitted enough. We ought to be a growing church family. But Jesus said, by this all men will know that you are my disciples. How will they know that? They know that because we're loving one another. We know that because we're sharing with one another. We know that when we miss somebody, we check on them. When somebody's not here, we're inquiring about them. Because we are a knitted church family. And you're not doing what you're supposed to do, I'm talking to you. Start doing what you need to do. So it's a close-knit enough, the church family, to see, to feel when others are going through something. You can look at them and they just don't look right. Something about your eyes is telling me you don't look right. Amen. But when I see that, if I can't say a word to them, I start praying for them. Amen. Because they're going through something. See, when you're not going through something, you are a little more happy Do I have a witness here? But if you feel good to have somebody that's praying for me, if you feel good to have somebody that know, amen, that know that can share the burden with me, but it is the best to take your burdens to the Lord. Anybody in the house today know how to take your burden to the Lord? Anybody today know how to lean not to your own understanding? All of thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. Is the Lord directing your path today? Is the Lord lifting your burden today? Yeah. That's good. That's good. I want to preach all of it. So, when others are going through some trials and suffering, it's good to know that I'm not alone. It's good to know that you can talk to somebody. They're either going through something or on their way through it. When we stop, look, and listen to the life of Job, the Spirit of Christ will teach us the lesson of spiritual life on the journey of Christianity. I don't know about you, but I'm glad that I have trouble, because trouble will keep me praying hard. I'm glad that I have situations that come in my life that make me talk to God more. Do I have a witness there? I'm glad that folk mess with me, because I don't have to strike back. I can keep talking to God. For the word says, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. I will repay. So I'm glad to have trouble, because I know trouble don't last always. I'm glad sometimes when the money gets slack, I know, amen, I don't have the big headed of having too much. I don't think nobody in here got too much. But if you got too much, amen, 29 Line Road is my address. Amen, and my study is right behind, amen, and I'm standing right here. If you got too much, amen, give the church some, and then give me some too, amen. Since you got too much, and you're right. Amen, we need to always, we deal with lessons in life, we can always learn to talk to God. I tell you, you need to learn how to talk to God. Man, what if you didn't talk to God? Sheila and Calvin, it's not, they talk to Calvin all the time, and Calvin is not home, amen. What you gonna do, amen? You gotta learn how to talk to God. You'll have a witness here. And one another thing I love about God, he don't tell my business. Come on, somebody. He don't tell my business. I can talk to him all night. I can get up in the middle of the night and talk to the Lord, and he don't tell my business. But Job said he knows the way that I take. I'm glad to know today that God knows my heart. Sometimes folk don't understand, but God knows my heart. Sometimes people don't understand the decision you make, but God knows your heart. God knows the whole story. Sometimes folks see on the outside. Folks see what happened here at the church, but they don't know what's going on in the community. They don't know what's going on in your house. They don't know what's going on with your children and your grandchildren. Amen. But God knows. And I'm glad if I try to please the Lord, it don't matter what man may think about me. Because what Jesus said that I be lifted up. So I'm trying to do what God said. Because somebody would say, sometime I may even back in the day when I spanked my child, he had no business doing that. How you know what business I had? Discipline my own child. You don't know what they did. Come on, come on. They show you rough. Amen. You must be rough on yours. Amen. You ain't rough on yours. They turn around and grab you in the collar. Come on, somebody. Amen. Look at Brenton and look at Sheila. Brenton a big boy. So Sheila didn't have to fear him. Sheila something to get rest.
That's right.
But Job was a poor traveler.
Yes, sir.
On a lonely road. Devil had been permitted. I said permitted. Because Job was God's property. Devil had been permitted to interrupt temporarily Job's course of life. Not to weaken him, but to make him strong. Did you catch that, Shady Grove? At the end, he came out stronger. Do I have a witness here? See, you can't get chapter 42 blessings until you start at chapter 1. Ain't that right? Job came out better than he was when he started. Amen. And if you stay with God, you will come out better at the end than when you started out. If God gave you a job, if God gave you a position in a company, amen, be faithful and stay there. Amen. And he'll make it better. Come on, somebody. Some start off as teaching. Amen. Then they end up in the office. Some start out as private. Then they end up in the rank of officers. Some start out, amen, on the assembly line, and they end up in supervision.